Welcome to the Groove Lab. Hope everyone is having a great Wednesday. We have had a pretty big influx of new listeners, so I kind of just wanted to introduce myself again and let you guys know what we're doing with this podcast. So my name is Lauren Alexander. I'm a musician based out of East Texas. I've been in the music industry nearly all my life, and so it's just something that I'm really passionate about, and it's something that I just truly love. I started this podcast to give my artist friends kind of just a chance to share their stories and share what they're creating. And also, I'm hoping that it will become a place where people will come for information. There is a lot going on in the music business and always so much to learn. And I hope this can be a place where we can all just learn together. And I'm just super excited. I've had so many people reach out wanting to hop on and talk and share and give what they have to offer. So thank you to all the new listeners. And if you've been listening since episode number 1, well, then welcome back. I'm glad everyone's here. And happy October, guys. October is my absolute favorite month because it's my birthday month. And if you know me personally, you know that I celebrate all month long, especially right now. I'm taking any opportunity to celebrate. I've already busted out all my fall gear. I got my flannel on today. It's 90 degrees outside, but you know what? That's fine. It's fall weather in my heart. And, you know, we get Halloween this month. Also, I have 2 gigs booked this month, which I'm super stoked about. They're both outside, so we can still practice our social distancing. But yeah, I'm super excited, feeling good, feeling happy, feeling expired, feeling inspired. I have been feeling very expired for the past few months, so I'm glad to be feeling good again. My interview today is with a girl named Sarah Harralson. She's a singer-songwriter based out of Nashville. And y'all, I had to edit this interview so much because I'm still trying to learn how to podcast from home with a toddler. And today he just was not having it. He wanted snacks and he wanted stickers, and he wanted to be as loud as he possibly could. But yeah, Sarah was super sweet about it, and she's a cool girl. She actually has worked in the business side of the music industry. She worked for BMI in artist royalties. So we talked about that, and we talked about her new music that's coming out. So let's jump right in. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Nice to meet you. I'm Sarah.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for doing this.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So tell me about yourself.
So I've been in Nashville for, I guess, 7 years now. I moved from Knoxville, Tennessee, so not very far. That's where I grew up. And my granddad was a huge influence in my music and my life. So he was kind of the person who urged me and persuaded me to follow music. So he passed a couple years before I graduated high school. And then so when I graduated high school, he was the one who really kind of gave me the mindset to follow my dreams of pursuing music. And then so I moved to Nashville, graduated from Belmont, and have been working in songwriting and the music industry since.
That's so cool and such a sweet story. Something to kind of keep you motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me about Belmont. What did you study?
I studied music business, like a lot of people, yeah.
Cool. So let's talk about your brand new single, Put a Rock on This Rolling Stone. What was your inspiration behind that? What was it like writing that song?
Yes, so Put a Rock on This Rolling Stone, I wrote that, I guess, a year and a half ago with a couple co-writers, and one of my co-writers had the title Put a Rock on This Rolling Stone in his phone, and that was just a title that I really connected to, and I felt that we should write to, so we just created a melody. And for me, that song is about someone who's kind of a free spirit, independent person in life, but they do want to settle down at some point when they find the right person. And that's exactly how I felt at the time being single in the dating world. I felt very independent, but did want to settle down at some point someday. So I knew that was a song that I wanted to cut. And when me and my producer were looking at songs at the beginning of this year, we decided that was kind of the top one we wanted to put out first. And so that song was actually finished in February, right before COVID hit. So it was already done. And then COVID kind of altered our plans for releasing it. So I waited until June to release it. And that's kind of when things started opening up again. So it felt like the right time to put out that kind of song.
Well, hey, let's talk about that. What has your experience been with this pandemic? I know it's been kind of crazy for everyone. Did you lose a bunch of gigs, or were you able to kind of keep doing what you were doing and continue co-writing?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's been weird in Nashville, mostly from the start of this when everything shut down and Broadway was basically a ghost town. I remember I was working from an office one day and I just got an email that pretty much all my gigs were canceled until further notice. And that was a strange feeling. And then since then, I've been working from home. I've been doing a lot of production in replace of playing shows. I've done a few shows lately since things have opened up, but I feel like venues are either not as busy or they're just not paying at as much, if any. So it's definitely been weird with doing gigs. But as far as releasing music, I feel like it's been a good time to keep rolling with that, keep writing songs. But it's definitely been different for everyone adjusting to working from home life, seeing their significant others more. So
It's such a weird time to be a musician. So what do you have planned going forward?
I'm releasing another new single on October 9th, so Friday. It's called Get Lost in Some Rock and Roll, so everyone can look out for that. But my plan is just to release a few more singles throughout the coming months, and then I think it'll lead up to some sort of project that has all of the songs plus a few additional new songs. But it's been really nice to be able to release new music.
Ooh, well, I can't wait to hear your new song. That's super exciting.
Yeah.
So you had told me previously that you used to work in the business side of the industry in royalties, and I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so my first job out of college was actually working with BMI and licensing before I switched to artist royalties. So when I was doing music licensing, I was kind of on the sales side of that. So I was constantly contacting businesses who did not have a music license, saying, you have to get a license to have live music, etc., in your venue. And a lot of business owners hated me, did not want to buy a music license. So that was an interesting yet humbling job. And it was also nice just to get kind of educated on that. And then after that, I switched to artist royalties, and that was nice because I didn't have to talk on the phone to people every day, but basically paying out artists on the label's roster quarterly for their royalties. And sometimes there would be not so nice artists, that wanted to get paid, but that was also that's also been really good education wise as an artist, because it's kind of taught me what to look for in a royalty statement as an artist, or maybe I'm missing out on these royalties myself as an artist.
Yeah, well, I think that side of the music business can be just kind of incredibly confusing for most people unless you've been in it. There's just so much information. Do you have any advice that you can give us?
Yeah, I've had a few people reach out to me on Twitter and other platforms asking me, "Hey, why do you use this distributor?" Or "Do you think they hold back money, etc." And I'm always happy to help anyone who ever has questions, since I do know a little bit more about the royalty side. So for my distributor, I think, whatever you want to use to release your music is great. I don't think there's any of them out there that actually hold back royalties that are, accused of, or they wouldn't, still be around. It's just the matter of sometimes it takes a long time for your royalties to be processed. And so when you release a song, you probably won't see some of those artist royalties until maybe 3 to 6 months down the road. And then for my publishing royalties, a lot of times you're missing out on those with a third party distributor if you're not, paying extra on TuneCore or something. But that can get very pricey if year to year you're constantly paying to get your publishing royalties, and it's not really worth it as an independent artist. I recently started using Song Trust to get my publishing royalties. Love them. I think they're great. You just pay a one-time fee, and then they try to find your black box publishing royalties too for the years you've been missing out on. I think that can take up a year to process, but that's another good resource for artists who are kind of missing out on those royalties. And they have a lot of great guides and spreadsheets to look at with how-tos for artists who want to get more information on that.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like there is just so much information out there that it can be kind of overwhelming. I mean, we have the internet, which has the answer to everything, but sometimes, at least for me, I think it can just be a little bit confusing, not knowing what to look at or look for first.
There's so many choices and even so many distributors to choose from. So when I was kind of looking for one that fit me, I just kind of did a pros and cons spreadsheet of what I liked because, like you said, it can be overwhelming amount of choices and resources.
Well, is there anything else you'd want to talk about?
I think, kind of going back to how we were just talking about like refocusing on, what we want to do and what we want to be as an artist. And this year has been great for that. And I think one thing I've realized is, I don't want to do those cover gigs as much anymore because it is a little bit disheartening. And I love just playing my own music when I can. And the paid gigs are great, but something I've also always loved doing was producing my own music and producing music for other people. So I think this year has been great to kind of get in that mindset and just get back into producing and songwriting and spend more time on that. And I think, so many artists think they have to do as many gigs as they can and get their face out there as much as they can. But if you have like your own little unique side to you, like producing whatever, you can still get your name out there by doing other things like that. Just do what you're passionate about and find a way to where, you still can get your name out there as an artist and go a different route from other people.
Definitely. That's kind of what I'm doing here with this podcast. And it kind of just keeps my mind in the game and keeps my name out there. So I think that's great advice and something that everyone should try to do. I feel like everyone's good at least one other thing. So,
Yeah.
well, can you tell people where to find your music?
You can find my music on all listening platforms, and I'm also on all social media and my website, sarahharralson.com, if you want to find more info.
Awesome. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for being on. And to everyone listening, be sure to check out Sarah's brand new single, Get Lost in Some Rock and Roll, available everywhere on Friday. But I'm going to stick the pre-save link down below in the show notes so you can be one of the first people to hear it.
Thank you so much for listening to the Groove Lab podcast this week. Stay groovy.
You guys know I'm a newbie at podcasting. There's so much that goes into it. But luckily, I found Anchor, the easiest way to podcast. Not only do they have the tools to help you record and edit, but they also help with distribution. So your voice can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. But the best part is, it's free. Everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Make your voice heard. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, y'all, it's time for the song of the week. This week's submission comes in from David. I've actually been following this band on Instagram for a long time, but for whatever reason, I just had not gotten around to listening to their music. But the band is Atlantis Aquarius. They're based out of Dallas, and they got a brand new single out called Moonlight Night. And this band is just, they have a super cool look and a super cool sound. If you go, I'll link to their new music video as well for this song, and they're just like hippies, man. They're really cool, and I definitely have the song on repeat. So if you want to hear it, I'm gonna link their Spotify information down below, and it's also on our Groove Lab Song of the Week playlist. If you want to submit your favorite song for next week's Song of the Week, shoot me an email, groovelabpodcast@gmail.com, or send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. Stay groovy, guys. I'll see y'all next week.